Hey, it's Jaded Gamer here. Right, so we had the Nations Cup races on Saturday, and there's a bit of a story behind this. We've got another double header. We had some really bad races on Saturday. For some reason, the first lobby that I was in, everybody was a have-a-go hero. I ended up going backwards in the race, losing a lot of rating. The second race was no better. So I ended up calling it a day at 4 races, but the reason we've got a double header is because I had to do race 3 to get into a half decent room to be able to score more points than I'd previously scored. But we're at Autodrome Lago Maggiore West, and we're in the SubabrU. That's what I like to call it, the WRX Subaru, which I've renamed the SubabrU with my Iron Brew livery. We're going to see it right now. There's the Iron Brew Subaru. So I'm happy. Anyway, so we're back bringing more GT Sport content. The day before the GT Sport races are back on again this week. I've had a little peek in at the dailies. There's some interesting combinations there. It's going to be quite good fun. It'll be good to mix that up with a live stream sometime this week. I'll do it either tomorrow or Saturday for the live stream. This is a live stream, but it's just highlights. Anyway, I hope you're all safe and well. Hope everyone's looking after each other. Hope you're enjoying the content. Nice livery on that one, yeah. Bit of a Colin McRae tribute. But yeah, so I hope you're all looking after each other, you're staying safe and well, looking forward to Christmas. Again, I'm just sharing the content that I've been putting through. Oh, Bobovich, now we don't like him. He caused us a lot of problems. McTid, he comes back, yeah. Is this a good circuit? The tyre wear, I believe there might have been a pit stop in this one. So we're under starters orders. There's false starts in this one again. So you hear the engine noise go up as the lights start to come on. So we're sitting here in third. We've had a good qualifying session after having lots of time to practice the track, having 2 really bad races earlier on in the day and having a little bit of a break in between them. And just trying to stop any lunges and stay with the main group. A slightly different kind of racing. I'm not stuck in here amongst, like, you know, the 2 little groups of 4 trying to muscle their way around the corner. And there's a casualty and another one. Gladly that was behind me. So this was a good race for me result wise, and there wasn't quite the amount of mishaps that there had been in the ones before. I mean, really, it was some of the worst racing I've ever seen. I'm not at the sort of name and shame stage in broadcasting it, but you know what, it might not be that far away, because some of the on-track action is just shocking. You know, you take a couple of hours out of your day to do a race and wow. But anyway, enough of the negative. That's why I didn't show those races, because they were so very bad. But maybe I'll have to put one in every now and then. So it's 13th on the door, which means I'm the 13th highest ranked driver in the room, even though it's a room that I probably shouldn't be driving in. But like I say, the races I'd had earlier in the day had really damaged me. And we've relearned how to take that corner. We're scrabbling around for a while, losing track time, losing seconds coming down the straight, messing up that corner, and we finally got a hold of that. And I'm not being too aggressive, but I'm just not willing to let up my speed and let the guy behind me get in, because he's really trying to join the group here. some great high-speed racing. I mean, it's only a Group 4 car, but you spend a lot of this lap with your foot to the floor. Use the width of the track, but don't touch the grass. Now, Viper V12 and I had a pretty good race, but this gets a little bit messy. There's contact before the apex there. I do manage to get through, and I think Viper's now in the chase for that position as well. And I'm just keeping the foot down as much as I possibly can. We'll get the race info on. So there's 15 laps. And that was a bit messy from me. I was trying to stay away from that guy on the outside so as not to hit him. And then he kind of turns in on me there. I had nowhere to go. And he's going to get a great slipstream. And now we're breaking away from 5th place. Now hopefully 5th place can get himself into an argument. Not with me. Oh, now he really stalled on that corner there. But I didn't turn him round, luckily. I didn't get any penalties and I didn't turn him off the track, but he's destabilised there. So I'm trying to stay away from him. I do manage to squeeze it through. I mean, he's still on it. But I managed to have enough room to get in front of him to stop the guy on the outside from coming past me. And he blocks him, which is some good racing. So there's 3 trying to get into this corner, all braking, trying to make sure there's enough room. There's some really good racing. Which is why I wanted to keep this one. That's why it's a double header, because once the races did turn okay, it was such good fun. So I'm just letting them come across. There's no point in fighting them on lap 3 of 15. We're on the hard tyres. And again, trying to get a decent exit out of that because I've got pressure behind me. Now he pokes his nose in and I have to kind of let him round the inside, but he's not getting the inside for this. Does clip me a little bit, but I don't think there's any real malice there. He's just trying to hassle me. There's no contact in the really dangerous areas, so it's not. I'm not particularly worried about it, apart from the fact that I'm getting chased down. I don't want to lose my position in a weak room. Just a shout out to the GT Sport community as well. Some of the stuff that you guys put up there that we can use for liveries, it's great. You can just search for it, put it in your favourites list and then make up a car. I think that was my first attempt at a proper livery on the Subaru, or the Subabrу as I've already decided to name it. So we can change the camera angles and have a little look-see. So he's behind us, really close, so you can see him just underneath the fin there. You get to see other parts of the livery as we go round. So second and third there, they're just starting to pull away from me a little bit. I'm getting a bit of breathing space from behind. Now that was a bit bumpy. We'll have a look at it from this angle. How close is he? So we're doing not too bad here. I'm not too worried about him giving an attacking run. In fact, I think he's dropped back there just a touch. Trying to take a different route around the corner to beat me. So the tyres are getting a little bit of punishment, but we're going to go the distance. See how close he is behind me. So if you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe. I say this was a pretty clean race. So we're heading into the braking zone again. And I was getting into a decent rhythm doing this. Like I say, I'd been basically driving it since the first race of the day, which was about 2 PM, and this is at 5 o'clock. Not too many penalties as well. I'd encountered all that earlier, so I was trying my best to avoid everything and reclaim my driver rating. I basically lost half my driver rating in 2 races, so I had to build it back up, and this was part of the building process. And then in the second race, it was a slightly tougher room, but that's where I got my max points tally. So it was a successful weekend of the Nations Cup. We lose it a little bit there, but so does Viper. I don't know why I said it like that. So does Viper though. And our little friend behind us is still dropping back. Trying to be cautious. And it looks like I'm starting to catch the cars in front a little. And that's the group I was trying to stay with at the start of the race. I'm just using the track there. The guy in second place flashing his lights at first place, who's a few seconds down the road from second anyway. And we're keeping it all nice and clean, apart from that little bit of a shortcut there. Not sure if I was penalised for that. We've done our fastest lap on the previous lap as well, so 1:31.2. Which didn't appear to be a bad time. We gain a little bit of ground here on Viper. So we're still sitting in 4th on lap 8. And you can see we're almost within touching distance of that guy there, Viper. And we're breaking away from number 5. He's got 6th place behind him, trying to hassle him through those bends. Really putting a lot of pressure on him. And every time we come down here, I seem to catch them just a little bit more. Getting a good solid exit, keeping that speed up as high as I can. And I love that those two guys are fighting, because that's going to give us some breathing space, or some more breathing space. So we're just trying to get tight into the apexes. I missed that one completely. I had a couple of really big accidents there earlier on in the day. So now it's lap 8. The tyres are already starting to go a little. So, just for the sake of it, because it's going to be hard racing, I get the lads. Not in their Iron Brew overalls, unfortunately. I'm still in my Pepsi overalls as well. But here we go out the pits. We're still in 6th, but now we know we don't have anything to worry about apart from other cars and putting it off the track, which hasn't been the case really in this race so far. So now I've got to get past 2 of the guys that were right behind me. I must admit, I do love this track as well because of this corner and some of the sweeping corners where you can put the foot down, especially in the Group 4s. Now, I didn't try the Mitsubishi Evo simply because I had this one sitting there with the livery, and that was the choice, that or an Evo. So I went for the Subaru. The Subaru. I'm not going to stop saying it, people. So these 2 guys have been fighting since before I went into the pits. And there goes 3rd place. So it's time to get on him. They've been a bit physical with each other. I know Viper and Wilson were both clean drivers. So he puts the brakes on a bit there. And just trying to let him know that I'm faster. And it's time to let me go. But I suppose he's perfectly within his right to put up some sort of a fight. But this gets a bit ridiculous. And I think the problem there is I jump out of his slipstream and he gets the slipstream of the car that's way in front of him, which I didn't quite think he was going to get it. So we go in there, but I get a really good exit and I'm right back on his tail again. At this point I'm feeling pretty robust on the track. I've had some pretty wild encounters in the earlier races, so let's just say I've learned a couple of things. And we just get up on the inside and we muscle in a bit. Now he turns in on me and puts me off, and then has a bit of a moment himself, so we're back to side by side again. Now I think he's intent on trying to knock me off, so I'll let him have the inside and just watch what's going on. Now he's really trying to take the curve as wide as he can and make me take a wider line, and I just wasn't having it, so the contact made me drop behind him anyway. Let me try not to forget to brake for this corner. Now whether or not he's been paying attention, I don't think he knows, but his tyres are now 11 laps old and mine's are 3 laps old. So this technical section and the extra sort of traction I can get coming through all this pays off again. Now, did I pull out too early? No. So we're okay, but I know he's going to try the undercut. He's going to try and get down deep, so he hits me first before I turn fully in. And I managed to make my line out onto the rumble strip and onto the rest of the circuit. So he's right behind me, and there's Viper. Now, Speed Gang here was a bit irritating, but then I see myself coming up on Viper, and I see the penalty flashing in the distance there. You see second place is carrying a penalty. I can't see what the time is on it yet, but I'm hoping it's, you know, more than a second. That would be nice. So we'll go back to the replay cam. On the brakes nice and light. Tyres are holding up well because I went in for a pit stop. Now, can we get a podium? Because no matter what room you're in, if you get a podium, it's still cool. Oh, that's a wild accident there. So I'm taking a better line than Viper through these corners now. Probably just suddenly noticed I was there when I'd been behind him a wee bit for some time. He must have made a mistake. So we'll go back in the car. And that's how close we are to Viper. There's only 3 laps to go. We're at the end of lap 12 now. So again, just taking a different position on the road, presenting the car, letting them see it, but being careful. He's given me no reason to think that he's going to be a bad driver in this one. If anything, Wilson Phil was a bit robust earlier, but he didn't seem to be too bad. I did get past him early on though. So, my fastest lap of the race at 131.1. And these new tyres are loving the track. Not when I do things like that though. Went on the orange curbs there, I shouldn't have done that. That unsettles the car a bit. So Viper does get a little bit further away from me here. But again, using the Logitech G29 and the Wheelstand Pro in a comfy chair. All the videos that I'll be putting up for GT Sport will be with the driving force, the Logitech G29. I'll maybe make up a highlight reel of some of the driving. Because some of it is awful that you see sometimes. So I've taken that corner really well. He's totally got the wrong line for it. He does maintain a decent speed, but I'm getting closer and closer to getting that slipstream. It's the penultimate lap. We've got half a tank of fuel left in the car, so it's really letting me push it. I'm getting lots of grip and traction, and it's turning lovely. I'm taking an aggressive line here, making sure we let them know that we're on full tilt, using the whole track. Now here, I do poke my head out just a little bit to let them see it, but then I go wide again, because I did not want to knock him off the track, because we're having a good race and I am catching him, so there's no point in me doing that. And we're up on my personal best. Again, I pulled out of that. I didn't want to knock him off the track. He basically puts himself off the track as I'm coming round to get the next apex. And again, in a little bit of sideways action. Oh, it's the last corner of the second last lap. He's got a half-second penalty for cutting the track limits. So again, keeping it clean, putting him under loads of pressure here. I'm really calm at this point. My tyres are still absolutely fine. Every turn I'm just getting closer and closer. And it's so tempting to just stick it right in the inside of a corner and just go for it, but not letting it ruin my race. I've still got the chance for a podium position here. And he moves over to serve his penalty so that he can move back over and slipstream me into the corner. So he's hoping that he can pick up some of that time that he lost. But we get a good careful exit and we get on the power early, up through the gears. And this turned out to be one of my faster parts of the lap. And particularly here, he was really struggling with this point in this section. So I just used the grip that I had left and made the most of it. And there we go, just don't mess up that last corner. Here comes the Subaru. There's Wilson Phil in second place. And we go over the line in third. Well, that was pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed that. Like I say, this is the first part. The second part is coming right up, because we had to go and race that again, because I didn't score enough points to make it worthwhile sitting there doing those 3 races to end up with the points tally that I got the week before. So we went in again. So I hope you don't mind the double feature. There wasn't a live stream at the weekend, so I thought I'd do it this way. If you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe. We've got one more race to go, and then I'm going to go off and get some more content ready for the channel, actually. So here we go, we qualified in third, which was a surprise. We're in a higher lobby. It's a sort of C and D rank lobby, the driver rating. This guy was a bit weird on track. There's the Subaru, there I am. So as you can see, the Subaru was a very popular car. And they're very similar cars, but they drive in quite different ways. The Subaru was better off the line anyway. Again, some of the cool liveries that we see as we're racing around in GT Sport. Very nice flame effect there. So we're back at Lago Maggiore, the west section of the track. Like I say, the previous race we got a decent points tally, but it wasn't more than the previous weeks. So we wanted to try and push the numbers up. So we went again. And again, this was a great race, which is why I saved it. I was a bit nervous about going into it, but I decided that because I didn't have those points, it was worth taking the risk. I'm just revving my engine. We'll see the lights. So we're sitting on the brake, just messing about with the accelerator, waiting for the lights to start coming on. Oh, these angry cars behind me. Right, there we go, a clean start. There's a bit of a mix-up down there. People trying to shove it up the inside. But we'll get it round back to the replay camera, into the first corner. So I have lost some places. I'm trying to be somewhere in between passive and aggressive. We've got a couple of rough drivers here, so there's a whole ton of penalties being handed out here. That's 4 penalties already. 4 or 5 penalties anyway. So we've gone down 2 places, we qualified there, but we're back up 1, because that's the first penalty being served. That guy's just gone backwards, warp speed. So I see those 2 fighting in front of me, and this the guy in the Mitsubishi's really been quite physical. Excuse me. But he's also been quite slow. So I stick it in the inside, and then I pull back because they're both going into it. Just try and settle in. I put a little slide in that there. I don't need that. I need to keep it smooth so I can break away from the guys behind me. So again, just getting that point right and working as much speed out of that hill and corner as I possibly can and take it down the straight with me. And I decide to just be cheeky and make it look as though I'm going to fire it up the inside, but I just wait patiently. Just putting the pressure on where it needs to be applied. Almost touched the grass there. And the race still hasn't quite settled down yet. We've still got the Italian driver behind me there. Definitely in the slipstream range, but I'm getting some too. So I pull out, try and weaken the Italian slipstream and try and put myself in an aggressive position for the turn. I let him have it, but there's a bit of contact. It turns in on me, but we give each other enough room. And if anything, I lose a little bit of momentum there because I have to let him back into the racing line. Because I want to go away and race this guy. I don't want the Italian racing me behind me there. It's easier to look in front. So again, just keeping it tight. I can see they're all loosey-goosey behind me, so I'm just trying to nip and tuck and eke away any advantage I can possibly get before the straight and try and break any slipstream that this guy can get behind me, but stay in the German slipstream in front of me. I see this is the special double-header event of Race 2 Season 2 at Autodrome Lago Maggiore West. 15 laps, hard tyres. Fuel depletion makes no difference whatsoever. The car just gets better to drive as the race goes on. And I opted for 1 pit stop. I thought the tyre wear was potentially too dangerous to mess around with it, and my pace was pretty good, so I just sat back and took a pit stop just after halfway through the race. So I'm taking up an aggressive position again. The Italian's almost joining us. I get my nose in front, but again, we just show each other some respect. Some good racing. I pull out of that. I realised he was going quite wide. I pulled out to give him extra space, and I made it stick. So now I want this guy in front. I want the Portuguese driver in front now. I want to get past him. I think first place is a little bit down the road now. Yeah, so the first place is a couple of turns away now. So I'm sitting in third. I'm still getting pressure from behind from the German, but the Portuguese driver's getting reeled in. And just try and get that rumble strip and get on the power, get through the gears, rev them out. There's no fuel concerns at all. And I'm putting my fastest lap of the race so far, 1:30.8, which I think was better than my qualifying time, so there you go. Obviously I've done a lot of miles on this track by this point, so I'm just sort of sitting back and observing the Portuguese driver in front of me, keeping my pace so the German driver can't make a move on me. But he is close now, but I'm close to the Portuguese driver, so we're just both using the slipstream. And what happens here? I don't make the move, the German does. But let's see the exit of the corner. Right, so the German is ahead of me at the moment, but I'm getting side by side with him. Again, I kind of yield a little bit, let him take the racing line, but I know I can stay with him. But good driving. I'm not going to fight him too much. There's only lap 4. I don't want 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th coming around me at the next high braking point at the end of the turn 1. You know, turn 1. So here we go again, heading down the hill into the last turn. Keeping it nice. Again, sucking up that slipstream. But so is the Italian. Now, a slower lap there by 2 seconds, that's what fighting does to you. Chewed up a little bit extra of that rumble strip than I really wanted to. And a bit of grass on the outside there. And then a really bad mistake, but I managed to keep it together. Luckily there was a gap behind. But I am down on pace here, trying to get the slipstream from the Italian, trying to stop the next car from coming around. And it's Viper from the previous race. So I'm kicking up a bit of sand there on the outside. It's all looking a bit messy for me now. Got to get it back together, stop Viper from getting past me. We're on lap 5 of 15. Let's see, so the Croatian driver behind me, I think that's a Croatian flag. We were in the previous race and we had a nice battle for 4 or 5 laps at the end and a few laps at the beginning, which I managed to win. But he's caught up with me here because I made a mistake. And we're back in battle mode again. Now he's let this other guy past him who's now getting onto the back of me. Hopefully they can have a fight and I can break away. Now the Italians had the same sort of accident that I had. So hopefully, oh, it actually looks as though someone knocked him off there because there was a penalty, the car with a penalty going past. So I managed to get back on terms with the Italian nearly. And again, just trying to brake as late and as safe as possible, get back on the power, keep it nice and tidy, get up the gears up the hill. That last lap I did was really slow, so we need to make up for that. And I need to get past the Italian. Especially because I'm going into the pits in 2 laps. On lap 8, at the end of lap 8 I'll make a pit stop, so I need to get past the Italian. I need to join this group and get away from Viper and the other drivers there. I think it's a Swedish driver. So we're back on pace. The 3 cars in front, basically I think the 2 Subarus are being held up by the Mitsubishi now, or they're just not able to quite nail their laps to get past them. Now there's a change of position there, so there's obviously been a mistake in front of me. But look at how close we end up here. There's using the slipstream. He's still got the slipstream from the Italian, but I want to be alongside the Italian. I want to be getting past him and back onto the Mitsubishi because I think I'm faster. So he turns in on me quite a bit there. And he's really not happy that I got past him, but that's the slipstream game. I wasn't using it ungentlemanly. So we're keeping it there. The German is right on my tail, hits me into that corner and puts me out wide. And muscles his way through there. That's my connection making that thing happen there with the Norwegian driver. Yeah, so I'm a little bit angry with the German there. He's pushed me out and given me a tap. So a little love tap back. We avoid a major contact there, and he's going to tap me a couple of times going along the straight. So I concede the point, because the only thing he's going to do there is push me out onto the grass. Now I'll be going into the pits at the end of this lap, and I've got Viper all over the back of me, and I've got the German in front of me. Viper getting the slipstream there, the Norwegian driver darting around, my connections making things happen there. So I go to fake the move. There's no way I'm making the move from back then. Viper tries to cut on the inside of me, and it doesn't stick. But he's very, very close. Now we had a good race earlier, so I understand why he was so close. He knows I'm not going to take him out. But I'm keeping it tight. Nice and tight into the apexes of the corners and on the rumble strips. I get a knock there and he goes right alongside me, and I think his momentum doesn't quite carry him past. But coming into this last corner, I'm going into the pits. I have to let him go. Not particularly happy though. So there's been contact from the two drivers that have gone past me, but there's the lads in their unmatching Pepsi overalls for the Subaru, and we'll put the hard tyres on. Now, a couple of cars behind us having a bit of an argument, which is great, and we have the Norwegian driver here in front of us. So there we go, back to the replay cam. So I've come out in 8th and I qualified in 3rd, so I wasn't particularly pleased. But now I know that I don't have to take it easy. The car's lighter, I've got a fresh set of boots on, so let's see what I can do. So first off, I know I'm faster already than 7th place. I'm already out the pits and all over the back of this guy. So we make it look aggressive, but we let him worry and we just take it nice and smooth, and we're really, really on his tail now. And we end up going round the outside and then cut onto the inside. We don't go too aggressive again. I don't want to wipe anyone out. I almost wiped myself out there, and he goes into the pits. So we've gained 1 place, and the car behind us has gone into the pits, and I think the car behind him went into the pits. So that's us officially got a gap behind now, which is really nice, because you know you're nice and comfy. You don't have to worry about being overtaken. You know, if you make a mistake when you're pushing the limits, when you've got someone behind you, they'll take advantage of any gap that you leave when you're trying a different line or a slightly different gear into a corner. So we're after another German here, and there's 2 in front of us, Portuguese, Italian, and I'm pretty sure the Norwegian up front in first place is absolutely gone. If you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe. Like I say, it's probably predominantly a GT Sport channel, but I can't only do GT Sport. I like too many different kinds of games. Big shout out to Adventure Racing and Basic Ollie, Super GT, Edie's, Key. So we make back up to 5th. I think it turns back into 6th when we get to the pit exit. No, it's okay, we didn't get gazumped. Not that you get gazumped, but it does. We almost ended up in 6th. So there's Viper behind us again. So Viper taking a surprisingly late pit stop there when you've got the same compound. I don't see why you wouldn't split the race as much in half as you possibly could. Just try and 50-50 it as much as possible. He's gone into the pits at the end of lap 10 to do the last 5 laps, and look what he does to me. Knocks me off the circuit. And he gets a penalty for it, but he doesn't even stop. And I'm exposed now for the next 3 corners. So I'm in 6th, but watch these guys catching me. Look, catching all the way down to this turn. Because your momentum carries you all the way through. So Viper, you done me. That was nasty. So lap 11 out of 15. After getting a podium in the previous race and really enjoying it, I'd gone up the rankings in the rooms, so I decided to do another race to get an extra couple of points on last week's result. Now, luckily I do manage to get my head back into the race here. So I can get away from these 2 behind me. Now obviously I really want to get after Viper here, and I want to get past him. I know I'm faster than him. And there he is already, I can see him. So we're just trying to maximise the amount of traction I'm getting coming out of these turns now. Trying to eke away every second on Viper, and you can see the difference it's making already. But chase too hard, make a mistake. So I calm it down a little bit, get back onto the corner apex, and live to fight another day. So I'm defensive, I'm going in there, onto the rumble strip, and then foot down, and I just don't want to get attacked here. Now I was going to go wide here to protect the inside of the corner. I think our Norwegian friend decides not to make a dive for it, which I very much appreciate, especially in the latter stages of the race. But we've got Viper there, he's struggling getting around these corners, and he's already had a pit stop, so I don't know what's going on there. And there's just a snake of cars now. Where before I was just me and Viper and I was in front, which was fine. So he's trying to fake me by going in and out, different line. Gets a pretty good exit, so do I. I'm still trying to chase down Viper here. Now I do get a little tap from the Norwegian driver. But again, nothing too bad. The worst thing done to me there was by Viper in this race. But it was nothing compared to the races earlier on the day. They were horrible. So lap 13 of 15, we're almost done, folks. Sorry it's so long, it's a double feature. But good racing all round, really. I mean, I was a bit unfortunate with Viper hitting me going into that corner. But apart from that, this has been a good race. Now I'm catching him again. But this time we're not hitting anything. Using the track and just trying to get in that slipstream and get back past him again. He knows I'm faster. Now he doesn't do too great there. And the Portuguese is still sitting in fourth. So I'm hungry for a little position here. I work my way up the inside, but cuts in front, and then the Mitsubishi cuts in front as well. But I left the gap. Can't put your car in there in case you get knocked out. So we're sitting in 6th. We started in 3rd. It's a little bit disappointing. But we're going to get good traction coming out of here. We're going to get good slipstream. So we just show our intention, and he almost bottles it. Good driving though. Take a much tighter line so I can get on the power earlier there. A little bit of lift off oversteer coming round that. And then on the power again to get down the hill. And then up into the high speed straight. Now we're right behind this guy now. With a touch of contact, so I had to get back in to get the momentum of the slipstream again and then go back out. Wasn't letting Viper have all the fun. So we make it stick. Final lap. Clean. And I was surprised. I thought the Portuguese driver was going to hit me off the track. I saw him be quite robust earlier. Excuse me. And there's Viper having a little deuce with the German driver. And I'm just waiting to pounce here, hoping like crazy that someone's going to knock someone else off the track. We've got a penalty on the German driver here. So any seconds I can make up, any half seconds I can make up, I need to try. And there's the Italian that I was beating earlier. So there's lots of messing about with the slipstream here. We're right behind this guy. So we end up in 4th. So I went down 1 position and I got more points in the race than I got for the one previously when I was 3rd. So, but there we go everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this slightly different format today. We'll be back with more content. There's more FIA madness this week. It runs through into January, I think, this season, into mid to end January. So yeah, we'll be back. This is Jaded Gamer. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Look after each other. Stay safe. Be excellent to each other. And I'll catch you later.